learning about how to conduct brainstorming sessions. So first, let's see about affinity mapping. So in affinity mapping, when you are going to conduct affinity mapping, so what you're going to do is like you're going to ask them like a generic question about a product, and then you're going to like ask them to generate ideas, and you're going to like um, stick it as like sticky notes. Okay, so this is like in a typical like a conference room, if you're going to office, when you have like all the stakeholders in the room, and then so you can ask them and you can stick generate ideas, and like you can stick as sticky notes, right? But if you are like doing through Microsoft Teams, even then like you should be having some kind of tools. Okay, so to an online tool to create like these ideas. So what you will be doing is like, for example, you're creating a product. Let's say I told you, know, like for ADP, you're creating some AI product. You're going to ask them like, why do you think we need AI? Tell me what are the different features that you want. If you are an end user, think like an end user and tell us the ideas. So they're going to give you a bunch of ideas, and then you're going to like document all the ideas. After maybe like 30 to 45 minutes into the session, now after documenting all these ideas, right, now we have to like convert that into design concepts. So what is the converting into design concept? In the sense like you're going to like group all the ideas into clusters or themes. So earlier when they are telling, it is like it is not into groups, right? So we are going to document all the ideas, and we are not going to stop them also. You're not going to like interrupt them. So one of the main rules like during the brainstorming session is you have to understand from a BA perspective, you are supposed to accept all the ideas. Okay, do not interrupt them. And you need to like understand, you're not supposed to criticize other ideas, you're not supposed to make fun of it, or you're not, if someone is saying things like, for example, sometimes really they mean it, right, their ideas, so like you call them, and then in the meeting like you should not make them as something like you're not supposed to like criticize them and also make fun of them also. Whatever idea, it can be a very dumb idea too, that's fine, but like you're going to accept it, and you're going to make it like collaborative and fun, and you're going to make it like visually appealing so that they understand like the process, right? What I mean, they are participants, so you'll be the one who'll be leading this session. So you need to make sure that you're building on others team ideas, you're very creative, and you can like make sure that it's interesting. So you're calling them for like a 2 hour session. After the lunch break, like mostly they'll not be interested, right? But that is a slot that you got, that is the time when people are available. So you are like booking the slot from conference room from 1 to 3, or you're having a call from 1 to 3. That's the time people will be like, oh, they are almost exhausted, right, during that time. So, but uh, so you have to make things creative for them, and you should not criticize them. You should build on others teams members ideas. You're going to make it very fun. Okay, so what you will do is like you will document all the ideas, and then you're going to like organize them into clusters or themes, like similar ideas, right? Similar ideas or issues or functionalities you're going to like um, cluster. So for example, system efficiency, all this will come under system efficiency. Notifications, all this will come under notifications. And then for example, you're going to have what are the functional enhancements, all this will come under functional enhancements. UI design, all this will come under UI design. Like this you're going to organize the nodes into themes. Okay, so this is called as affinity mapping. And this is beneficial, like for example, like if you're starting the product from scratch, you need everybody's input. So in that case, like I prefer affinity mapping, and it's one of the important technique. Then you have something called brain writing. Okay, so brain writing is something like yeah. So in brain writing, this is a little bit different than affinity mapping. Here you are giving them timing. Okay, so you're within a prescribed time frame, they have to generate ideas. And so for affinity mapping, we don't have time and all. They can like randomly, they can like give you an idea, right? But in brain writing, you are going to give them, for example, we have a method called 635 brain writing method. We have a method called 635 brain writing technique. So in this brain writing technique is like you have 6 participants, and each will have 3 ideas in 5-minute rounds. So if you have very limited time and you don't want people to like throw you some random idea, and you are the BA, you're the one who's going to consolidate and you're going to develop that into a business requirement, right, and document it. So if you have like, for example, here using this 635 brain rating technique, you can generate about 108 ideas in 30 minutes. That's like a lot of ideas in 30 minutes, right? So what you do is like you are a moderator and you're focusing on a single question or a problem, and then you have 6 participants. This is one of the brain reading technique. It's not that you're going to do this, you can do this for 20 people also. Accordingly, you have to make sure that each one has to give how many ideas and what is the time frame. So brain writing is like a little bit more specific. So if you have for example, group brainstorming can have like people can have social anxiety and they don't want to do it, and then like there are some people, they'll dominate the whole session. They keep talking again and again and again, and others will be like, oh, I'm done with this. So you want to make sure that you provide equal opportunity to everyone. One is like very super hyper and then asking you a bunch of questions, giving you all maybe 50 ideas, and the other ones are keeping quiet because they not everybody likes all these group sessions, right? So as a BA, the first thing in brainstorming you have to make sure is like everybody gets a chance, and then you're going to have a very quiet space. And when you have more than 10 people, you know it can get very loud. There are senior people and it can be overwhelming when your staff VP or director is sitting next to you, and then the manager is like, oh, I don't want to talk, let him talk. And he can be a very competitive director, right? He can be like maybe outside he's like, oh, I'm fine with everything, and then but inside he will have that bossiness around him. He'll be like, oh, you told that. And some people are very competitive, and especially in MNCs, they're very competitive. So you have to make sure that you handle all these complex characters in these group meetings. And so for that, it's better you tell like this. See, here we have like 10 people. Each of you is going to like you have to give me like 3 ideas in 5 minutes. So this approach will make easier things for them and for you, instead of like this generic group brainstorming. Okay, so you have to be very creative on what kind of approach you want to like do, right? So if generally, if you say brainstorming means like more than 10 people are there coming into the call, or they're coming to a conference room, and everybody they're giving ideas. That is what generally brainstorming means. But that idea actually it can become very overwhelming for everybody, for you also. You don't know what, like if one person is telling like 12 ideas and the other person is like sitting quietly, for you also you don't know like how to navigate things. So from a psychology safety perspective, what we do is like we tell like okay, well, the technique that I'm going to use is called a 635 brain writing technique. You have to inform them in prayer itself. During when you're sending the meeting invite itself, just say that these are some of the techniques I'm going to use for the upcoming brainstorming session. So please be prepared. So this way they understand that they don't blame you. And then they'll be like, okay, everybody, all the 10 gets a chance. They have a chance to write down their ideas, and then we don't have any problem. So brain writing is one of the techniques. The next one is the next one is 6:1 idea tool. So what is 6:1 idea tool? So for example, here if you can see, uh, we have I mean 6 ideas. So 3 can be good ideas, 3 can be bad ideas, but you're solutioning and you're coming to finally one idea at the end of the session, right? So maybe you have a 1 hour call with all the stakeholders and you ask them to give ideas. So you're going to like place that idea either here or here. It can be like you have to ask them whether this is a good idea or a bad idea. You are not deciding for them. Just say that, tell me all the good ideas, tell me all the bad ideas, and then you're going to like document all that. Okay, so you'll have 6 boxes. So you're going to like 3 good ideas and 3 bad ideas for that, for whatever feature that you're developing. And then finally, end of that 1 hour call, everybody is going to solution and you're going to like pick up the final one idea. That's called 6:1 idea. So this is like when you have very limited stakeholders, you have less than 10 people, then you can go for this technique. But if you have a very big group and then you want to like understand everybody's ideas, then I would prefer go for affinity mapping, or you can go for brain writing technique. But if you ask me from my experience, I want to be like very specific like in what I'm doing, right? So I will generally go for something like very specific. So we have 20 people here, and then everybody has to give me 3 ideas in 5 minutes. That's the approach I will do, because it's easier for me to document, it's easier for me to handle all these people, and it is going to be time efficient, right? So for 30 minutes, if I'm able to generate 180 years, that's more than enough for me to like document and create a BRD. From there, I can take it forward to another technique. So I prefer very specific techniques, not very generic, very, very specific techniques. And one of the things like as a BA, you have to understand is after all these like techniques, you're going to like send them some minutes of the meeting. So what you're going to say is, so example, date and time, who are the participants, what was the agenda of the meeting, what are the key ideas discussed, what are the action items, and what are the insights and analysis, when is the next meeting. Okay, so very important, because I've seen people like even senior BAs, they conduct all these brainstorming sessions, whatever requirement gathering sessions, then nobody talks about it. There is no follow-up email, there is no minutes of the meeting, and then everybody like after a week, everybody forget what idea they themselves gave, right? So documentation is very crucial. Also, if you want to stand out, there are like 10 BAs in your team. And if you want to like be very professional, and if you want to stand out in your team, and that manager will notice this from the day they hire you, they will notice this, like what type of emails this person is sending. Because if you're working in hybrid model or remote model, they have zero chance of seeing you, right? Even if you go for office, sometime manager is there, their own cabin, you're not seeing them, and you're just seeing your scrum team, your developers and testers. So you're not actually seeing your manager. So how will they know whether you're working or not, or what did you do? So through emails only, that's the most efficient way for them to identify, yes, this person is sending this email, means this person has conducted that session and she's sending the minutes of the meeting. So for you to impress, first of all, when you hired, when you're a new hire, you're competing with the senior most people in your team, right? And if you are luckily, if you are into a good team, people are going to teach you, they provide all the KT is knowledge transfer. So if they're going to provide you KT, then you're lucky. Okay, God bless everybody, and everybody is like okay, happy. But 95% of the time, they are not going to teach you anything. 95% of the time, they see you as a competitor. They won't tell you, but they see you as a competitor. So when you're into the new team, what the expectation is, okay, I'm not going to teach this person everything. He can replace me in 2 years, because my salary is like doubled of this new hire. And then if I'm going to teach him everything, in a couple of years, they're going to fire me and have him, right? So that attitude, people know. Senior BAs, they know that very well, because they in IT, it's all about funding and budget and hire and fire policy. And we have seen this again and again and again and again, that a new hire being is the new hire will actually be like a replacement for a senior resource, because after some years, like the senior BA is not developing anything, and he's sitting there for 20 years, and he's like his skills are, he's not even like getting promoted to a manager, or he's not like, he's sitting there for 20 years doing the same thing again and again, right? So the manager is like, they have to provide him like promotions, and they had to give him like increment, then they have to give him bonus 20% or stock or whatever it is, especially on site, all that is there. So his pay scale is going to be very high when compared to a new hire. So usually slowly what they will do is like they'll hire a new like maybe someone with like 4 to 5 years of experience. They'll transfer all the KT, and after like a couple of years they'll try him to make him a senior BA, and then all this politics will happen. So for you, if you are a new hire, you're going to get zero help from the senior BA, right? They're not going to teach you anything, but you have to impress the interviewer, because for you it's survival, right? So what you have to do is, whenever you are gathering the requirements, you have to send minutes of the meeting. Okay, and you're going to say like, these are the things we discussed, how many people participated. If you're able to handle 50 people, write all the 50 people's name, and then what is the agenda, what did you discuss, what are the action items, did you assign anything like particular deadline to someone, and are you waiting for that, and when is the next meeting. So you have to like impress your manager, also your scrum team as well, because they know, okay, this person is a good BA. If anything new intake project comes, we can ask this person to lead. So one of the most efficient way of like impressing people is sending minutes of the meetings, and immediately, not after 1 week of the meeting, right? So today morning, if you have a 2 hour requirement gathering call, by end of today, at least I'm going to send this, or maximum like by tomorrow morning, I'm going to send this, right? If it's good, if you're sending it by end of today, it is good. If not, if you don't have time, you have other meetings, then at least by tomorrow morning, you're going to, within 24 hours, you're going to send this minutes of the meeting. So by this way, you're like slowly building that professionalism in your team, and then like people are going to I mean, look at you, and they'll be like, okay, even though this person is a new hire, this person is able to manage a lot, because in the participants list they know how many people have participated. So this person is able to like document everything. Also, this is one of like, in future, if someone is coming and telling like, I didn't tell that in that meeting. No, I didn't tell that. If they come and tell you, one of the stakeholders is coming and arguing with you, you have proof. And I always told you, I tell my candidates that, my students that, if you say something verbally, that is not at all considered as legal. Okay, I talk to you and I'm saying that, oh, I will give you $10,000. Okay, that's not at all like legal. But if I actually like write in document, and I'm like telling you that I have given this person $10,000, and I'm like getting signature, that is like a legal proof. So something, if you are writing and you have proof in emails and like documents, so legally it is considered as proof, right? So we have seen in multiple crime cases too, always this receipts from the shop, or like if you say that if there is a crime at your house and someone saying you murdered, and if you like, how will you like say I was not there? You cannot say verbally, nobody's going to accept you, right? So you have to say that, yes, for this particular time, 8 to 9 p.m., I was in this particular Walmart, I was purchasing, see the receipt, I have it. If you show that, then that is like, okay, people are going to believe you. Always something in writing, receipts, something in documentation, that is what will help you. Okay, in future, if one of the stakeholders is coming and telling you that I didn't give that keyword, I didn't give this, I didn't give that, I didn't tell that, how are you going to say? We cannot record all the sessions. Even if we record all the sessions, sometimes Microsoft Teams is not going to like allow you to store that recordings for more than 1 or 2 years. So automatically it's going to get deleted. But emails, it will be there forever. And if you're leaving the company, that's when your email is going to be like shut down, right? So email, always make sure that you document things and then send emails right by end of that day, so that you have enough proof that you conducted the session. These are the key ideas people have given you, and action items. For example, John is responsible for this particular follow-up session, this is the deadline, something like these action items are also very crucial. So not only now you are able to conduct the brainstorming session, but now you have documented what people have told you, and so that tomorrow if there is any problem, you can back up yourself and your team. And your manager also is CC'd in that email, so he will also stand with you. So in order for you to like become a very good BA, the first thing that you have to understand is like, okay, the first thing you have to understand is like, when you send an invite, to stakeholders, it should be very detailed email. Okay, so what are the details that you're going to add? For example, what is this meeting about? What is the agenda? Okay, and if they have to be prepared, if they have to be prepared on specific topics, you have to specify the topic, and then you can attach any kind of like resources. For example, you want them to read an article, you attach that, or you want them to see some diagrams, you attach that, right? So you're going to attach the resources. And also, like, from a timing perspective, please be considerate. For example, you are working in EST timing, you are scheduling a call at 9 o'clock. For California stakeholders, it is morning 6 o'clock, right? So you have to be like, they cannot, at 6 o'clock, you want them to join the call and give you a idea. They will be like, okay, I'm not going to, they're going to be on mute, right? So please make sure that, please consider their others timings, all the stakeholders timings, and you come up with a slot that everybody is like fresh and everybody wants to participate. And you have to be very creative as well. That's one thing. This is like before you send, you're inviting them for the call, right? That's when you're this email, that the invite that you're sending needs to be very specific and very detailed email with all the agenda, and also you have to attach all the resources so that they can read and then they can prepare for that particular session. So, and do not take more than 2 hours. The maximum you do a brainstorming session is only 2 hours. Don't do more than 2 hours. And after you have the session, so you're going to use all these techniques and you're going to gather requirements. After the session, you're going to document the minutes of the meeting. Okay. So any doubts on all these techniques on brainstorming sessions? Anybody has any doubts?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
timing means only during office hours or beyond office hours? Sometimes the end users or core users may not available during the times. So, uh, is there any chance to meet beyond office hours?
What I mean by end users, who are your end users?
Ma'am, I mean the stakeholders, one of the stakeholders.
Let's say that, no, they are all full-time employees of your organization. They have to be available during office hours. You mean if they're on-site offshore resource? Yes, we have to make sure that we accommodate them. The stakeholders that you'll be gathering requirements are full-time employees of your organization. They should be available during office hours till 5 p.m. If you think like one of the stakeholders is offshore, he cannot come. Accordingly, we need to have a time, maybe in the morning, right? Like 10 to 12, something that time, so that in offshore, it's going to be something around like 7:30 or 8. So for him, it will be like after work hours. But we'll make sure that he's in the call.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Hi, Pratibha. I have a doubt. Like you
Yes.
said that we'll be documenting all those we'll be using techniques like Fishbone and all those things, right? If you're documenting using Fishbone, will we be sending that document as well to the business owners and all those team?
Yes, yes. If you're doing something like very specific, please attach those, because then they'll have an idea of what your document.
Okay, along with the minutes of the meeting, we have to attach that as well. Am I right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Okay.
And you have to tell them also, if you have any additional concerns or questions, please let me know. I can update the diagram accordingly.
Okay, okay. And I have like one more doubt is that, like you said, right, when we are like calling them for a meeting, we need to send about like a specific technique, like if it is like, what is it, if it is like we are going to use a fishbone technique or whatever it is, do we need to give the entire description about the technique, or it's okay if you just mention I'm going to use like a fishbone technique or something? Is that fine, or like how it works?
I mean, yeah, I mean, even if you send them like 100 materials, I mean, don't overwhelm them in the email, right? Just say,
Okay.
just say that this is
Okay.
going to be fishbone. And maybe the
Okay.
first 10 minutes of the session, you can tell them
Explain.
what is
Yeah.
fishbone and all that.
Okay. Okay.
Because,
Okay.
and Monica, half the time people don't even like read everything, right? They'll be like,
Yeah.
okay, this
Yeah. Yeah.
person is calling for me for something, like let me
Yeah.
attend it. But
Yeah.
it
Got
is
it.
your responsibility to be like professional and all that. You have to send
Okay.
at least basic
Okay. Got it.
details
Got
about
it.
what techniques that you're using.
Okay. Maybe I can give like a tool and description. That would that be fine, or
Yeah,
it's just
something like
yeah.
that
Okay.
should be
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. Yeah, got it.
Anyway, you will discuss with them. First 10 to 15 minutes, you will
In the
discuss with them.
meeting. Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Got it then. Thank you so much.
Ma'am, this brainstorming document, to whom we need to send, ma'am? Project manager or to all stakeholders? Through
You will
mail.
send it to all the stakeholders. Whatever, see, after you perform that brainstorming, and like example, you get the result is like 108 ideas. When you send the follow-up minutes of the meeting, right, to everybody, please attach those 108 ideas. Okay, and then like list all the idea and like attach it. CC your manager, CC your developer and everybody, and then send it to all the stakeholders, participants, and then you have to like this in this format. For example, let me take that document. So for example, like these are the ideas we discussed, 108 ideas we discussed, what are the action items, and then when is the next meeting, and then you at the end you have to add like if you have any questions or concerns, let me know. I can update this minutes of the meeting accordingly.
Okay.
We're going to document whatever is discussed, right? Key ideas we are going to document.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Anybody has any other questions on brainstorming?
So, ma'am, I have one question.
Mhm.
So, say for example, we took up this technique brainstorming, and at the end of the meeting, we find that there was not much of engagement and not fruitful output, right? So, is it okay if we can conduct another meeting using different techniques? And I mean, do we have any time bound, like how many times we can conduct such sessions, or until
No.
and unless the requirements are
No.
clear?
See, the purpose of elucidation or requirement gathering sessions is like for you to finalize on the business requirements, right? So there is no like, I mean, if you have a very strict deadline, then I would say never go for brainstorming at all. You directly go for interview kind of techniques. Okay. So if, for example, they're asking you to like we have a go live in 2 months and they're like, Pradeepa, go gather requirements. I will not sit and do brainstorming with them. Okay, when we have a very strict deadline, I have to finish in 3 sprints. I'm not going to like sit and like I'm going to discuss all this, right? I will directly choose something like interview. I'm not even considering brainstorming. So there are like 50 different requirement gathering techniques. So that's what I mean. Brainstorming is my least favorite. I've told in multiple times because this is like you're dealing with a large group of people, and I mean they're giving you ideas, and you don't know from there how you have to proceed. If you have a very strict deadline, please go for interviews or workshops, something like focus group, something like that. And so you can gather requirements maybe in 1 or 2 days, or maximum like in 3 sessions, you're able to finalize on the business requirements and you're going to start writing a BRD. This is like for a very huge project, something like a 2-year turnaround or maybe a year turnaround. And people don't know from where to start. That's when like brainstormings are recommended.
Ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Ma'am, a small doubt, ma'am. Ma'am, I have been in sales field for the last 7 years and I want to become a BA. So right now I am watching your videos before getting ECBA exam. Ma'am, if I get into job BA, even I don't know what to ask in brainstorming session, and you already told that seniors, almost 90% seniors do not support us. Then how we would know what to ask in brainstorming session?
Yeah, so that's when that's when you need I mean if you have friends or you have someone who is already a BA, they should guide you. First 3 months is very crucial, Sridhar, because if you at the very first call you are not able to handle them, they know you're a fake candidate, you don't have real-time IT experience, right? So we don't want that. So someone has to guide you. You need to have a coach or someone from your family, your friend, someone has to guide you on like what you're going to do on that session and all that, because you'll be the one who'll be leading all these sessions. And don't ask something like very simple questions to them and all. You're talking to them about creating a software product, right? Okay, it's a brand that you're talking about. And this is not like something luxury or something, right? This is like a need for the company to create a product so that they can have more sales, so that they can improve their stock price, so there are a lot of things involved when you create a software product, right? So if you don't know what question to ask to leadership, and you are panicked and you don't know how to deal with them, and you have no help from the team, they are going to fire you in 30 days. That's for sure. So you have to be well prepared. So it's very crucial for you to like understand before you schedule the call, to understand what I'm going to talk about, what are the questions I'm going to ask, and if they ask me something, how I'm going to like approach them, how confident I'm going to feel in this, like in this particular session. And I should not ask something like silly. If they ask silly, I have to be prepared, and I have to answer in a way that they don't get offended. Okay, so for this, since you're from sales background, what's your discipline, the degree, I mean bachelor's, what did you do?
Mechanical, ma'am.
So you did mechanical and you did sales. Now you want to get into IT, right? So that's why it's get hard. It gets very hard if you're from non-IT, and don't if someone if there's nobody for you to guide, then I'm sure like, I mean, if the team is good, you can survive. The team is, sometimes people want things to be done right away. Sometimes the client is like, I want the document tomorrow. And we've seen this. I want the BRD tomorrow. I want the user stories tomorrow. I want the diagrams tomorrow morning. Can you please do it? And if you don't develop that skill, you don't know how to write a document, you don't know how to write a minutes of meetings, notes, or you don't know how to send a professional email also, then that you're getting into trouble, right? So first thing is like cracking the interview. That's there. But once you get the job, you have to find some guide for you, or mentor for you to guide, or someone in your family or friend, someone has to guide you on this.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, any other questions on brainstorming sessions, or any other questions on your resume or your background? You can ask me now.
So,
Hi,
ma'am, I
Pradipta.
know
Soumya this
marketing.
side.
Hello. Hi, ma'am. My name is Divya. So, I come from a marketing and tech background, and I'm working as a project manager for one of the startup company. So now I want to transition into core IT. So just trying to understand. So here also we deal with, tech side of things like automations and, website development, backend stuff and all. And we do coordinate with developers. But working in a startup and working in a MNC or a structured organization is totally different. So, that's where the challenge is what I'm facing, right? I mean, the struggle that I face when it comes to a startup, it's very unorganized. We don't have several processes that we follow. So in day-to-day practice, it does not come. So do you have any like suggestions what I should follow?
Right. Just get an offer from a very good company and then move. Because I have also faced this when I came to the US, First, I initially went to like a very small company, and they pay you less for one thing. Then they want you to do everything from scratch, and you don't have time, and you are the only resource, and they dump things on you, and you have nobody to complain also. So for my recommendation is like, I'm going to get into a very highly paid package. I mean, into a company. I'm going to either go to Deloitte or something, a product-based company. I want to get into something like that's paying me very high. That is really motivating for me. That's what I want. I don't want to sit in this like startup and then waste my career, right? So for now, for time being, stay there. But my recommendation is like, learn all the skills and then apply, get into a very big MNC who's like paying you very well, because there things will be easier for you. There you'll
Actually,
have a
I tried
team.
giving interviews.
Mhm.
I tried giving interviews, but the sort of questions that they ask and the tools that they ask, it's actually I don't have hands-on experience with my current job because there is a limitation. The startup company does not use it, Jira. So when they ask about something about Jira, then it's very difficult for me. I know the processes and everything since I have done the course and all, but that's the practical knowledge is the challenge that I'm facing.
They asked you about this tool, Jira?
Yeah, they ask about tool, they ask about, like you're just explaining about user stories and writing user stories or you acceptance criteria, scenarios and all. So these hands-on experience I don't have. I mean, we do work on daily basis with the developers and the team, but the only challenge is when it comes to documentation side of things or, following a process, it becomes very difficult. So in a structured way, step by step, if I can explain, I need to have that knowledge.
Correct.
That's
So because why they're asking is like very Fortune 400 companies, right? Very big companies, they use only these two tools. These are very, very important tools. Jira is like documenting all your user stories. Okay, so this is the summary, this is the description, this is the acceptance criteria, these are the validations that I'm going to do, how I'm going to create subtask, task, and for example, what are the issue types I'm going to create. So the expectation is if you want to get into like any of the service-based companies like Deloitte, TCS, CTS or which is anything, any service-based company, you need to know these two tools. Very crucial, Jira and Confluence. Okay. So this is for Jira is for like documenting all your user stories, and Confluence is like for example, like today we had brainstorming session. I'm going to go to templates. I'm going to search for brainstorming. I'm going to use this template. It will automatically give me a template. Okay, instead of me doing it from scratch, it's going to give me a template. So I'm going to write facilitator, my name, participants, all the key stakeholders name, what is the brainstorming date, what is the Zoom link, and what is the method that I use for brainstorming. Like for example, did I use affinity mapping, or did I use brain wiring, or did I use 6:1 idea tool, whatever it is. What's the goal of this brainstorming session? What are the instructions that you gave for the participants, and then what was the agenda, what's the time it took, and what is the outcome. So it's going to directly give me a template, right? Instead of me doing it from scratch, Confluence is like giving me multiple templates for all the meetings. Okay, so for any kind of project, we have a documentation. For sprint planning meeting, we have a documentation. For daily stand-up call, there is a template. One-on-one meeting, there is a template. So these are some of the standard templates this tool is offering. That's why they want you to know about these tools.
Yeah, correct.
Otherwise, what if you in startup, they don't have money to buy all these tools. So the most they can give you is maybe Word and Excel, right? That's what they give you.
Yeah, currently we're operating on Trello, and so
correct.
but
So
again, there are limitations.
Correct. So it's all like manual, but here they are able to afford because this is all based upon subscriptions. They are giving you access because they are buying this from Jira and Confluence, right? These are paid tools. So the company, for example, CTS, the client is paying for all this, right? So when they give you access means they're paying for Confluence and Jira. So they want you to know about these tools, and they don't want you to waste time on documentation. They want you to like quickly develop something, and then you have it here because all your developers will be able to see all these notes, right? So for example, you create a document in Word or Excel. If you leave the organization, that leaves with you, right? You don't share it with others, so they're going to disable your email ID, so the document goes with you. We want people to document everything in Jira and Confluence, because if you leave, we can train the new BA, right? Where I mean, you have, for example, you're thinking that I got an offer, so I'm going to leave tomorrow. Is Friday, that's my last day. In US, that's totally possible, right? You can leave even on the same day. You can leave. So nobody's expecting you to give any notice and everything. Here, they can fire you on the same day. You can also leave on the same day. So in that case, how am I going to like? How will I know if I'm the project manager? How am I going to train the new BA who's going to start in a week or sometime, right? So we want all your documentation, all your BRDs, all your user stories to be in Jira and Confluence, so that it's easier for the manager.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why.
That's true.
Yeah, so that's why we want people to know about all these tools. So my recommendation is like money matters. What's your name? Divya, right? Divya?
Divya, yeah.
Yeah, money matters, Divya. So I wouldn't get like stuck with startups and all, and I wouldn't like waste my time and all that. I will quickly learn things, and then I will try for something like, I will never compromise under 20 lakhs. If you are in India, I will never compromise for under 20 lakhs for BA. So that will be my base salary, right? So if in the US,
and that's the reason I'm looking forward to your sessions, because I want to transition from marketing domain to an IT, or maybe some other domain, say banking, investment. So I need to select one and get thorough knowledge about at least one product so I can crack the interviews.
Yes, you should be able to do that. And then for the people in the US also, I'm glad it was. That's the goal of the, purpose of my YouTube channel. So if it is helping, actually, at least few people, right? I know it's not getting so much views and all that, but still I'm continuing to do it because I know people are getting like learning things from my channel. I see the comments and everything. So if it is helping you guys, that's what I want.
Yeah. Hi, Pradeepa. Like, I have a doubt. Like, what is the major difference between the business analyst and the business intelligence analyst? Like, both are like intelligence something into reporting, right?
Correct. So you need to know all this
So those
Tableau.
are, yeah. So those are like two different domains, or like it can be integrated.
So you can be a plain vanilla BA. I mean, like just
Okay.
gathering requirements and then
Mm-hmm.
documenting user stories. That's BA.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
But if they want you to do all this querying stuff, so you need to
Okay.
know if SQL, reporting, Tableau, and all that. That's
Mm-hmm.
all additional skills. But the core BA skills is like gathering requirements.
Okay, so I'm basically in US and I'm like looking for something in BA. So have like made my resume and I have like 4 years of experience as well. Not into BA, but I worked as a system engineer in Cognizant for Discover Banking. And now when I try to like switch in as a BA, no, there's like lot of difficulties. So have like made my resume such as it is like equivalent to BA as well as in reporting. I have done certification in Power BI and Tableau as well. So I'm like a bit confused of like which domain and what have to exactly update in my resume. So if you just prepare a video for resume, that would also be like really very helpful. Like if you give an idea like how would resume should look or something, no, it will be like very helpful
So
actually.
yeah, I can do that. So Cognizant have, if you're in the US, right, they have multiple healthcare clients, banking clients. So,
Yeah,
but
but I worked in India, not in US actually. I worked in India. Now after marriage, I moved to US and I'm like searching for a job and have a gap as well, right? So it's like a bit difficult for me to enter into the market now.
see, this is the mind block that you're having, right? So, see, this is the mind, people have that mind block. And
Okay.
you see, let's take an example of a politician. Okay. We are giving chances to all these actors who have zero knowledge in politics. They will be from cinema industry, but suddenly one day they'll become CM. Have you seen the transition? So
Yeah,
they don't have that mind block, right? Oh, I'm not into politics. I don't have real-time ground
exactly.
experience. But they will have that confidence in their mind that they'll be able to do it. And we have seen
Okay.
this in our
Mhm.
history, like people who have zero
Yeah,
political
yeah,
experience becoming leaders for us.
exactly.
So they will be doing their movies, and suddenly then next 6 months they'll be like CM of some state, right? We have given that.
Yeah.
So, but for BA job, we'll be like, oh, I don't have experience. I have this block, that block. My gap is there. So this is a
Yeah.
mindset that we are developing, and
Okay.
leaders and who are people who are in powerful positions, especially in US also. If US presidency candidates, if we take their history,
Yeah.
they're all business people. They are all people, not even they may have started their political careers just like 5 years back. Zero knowledge in politics. And
Exactly.
for example, if you think about Trump and all that, they have only like they are business people, right? They are
Yeah,
very
yeah.
serious business people. They're transitioning into politics and they win also and become a leader. So this is the like for us, it's a mind block that oh, I have gap, I don't have this skill, that skill, I cannot crack it, and I cannot
Yeah.
get into BA. I would say this is from a mindset level. If we
Okay.
think like that, we will never be able to
No, because
achieve anything.
entering also is like quite very difficult for me. Like I've been giving interviews, but it's like really very tough for me to go. I'm not sure like where I'm lagging. I'm doing well in the interviews, and the interview is also like okay, go to the next level, but I'm not sure what is happening after that actually. So
You have
I'm
to
like
get
bit
feedback from them. They're not selecting
okay.
you for some specific
Mm-hmm.
reason, right? You have to get
Mm-hmm.
feedback from them.
Okay, got
Yeah,
it.
they sometimes they can be very nice in the interview and reject you also.
Yeah, it
So,
happens actually here a lot.
so we have to like you have to get feedback from the HR, right?
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much. I have to
Thank you.
join another call. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Bye.